If it doesn't start with this generation here right now, then we fucked.
Well, hold on.
We're all gonna die.
The problem is, our generation is the one that has to change one thing, and that's how we raise our kids. That's what we have to change. Because if we follow what the school's been teaching us...
Look at the kids now. They're
But look, our generation. Not the kids that are... I'm talking about how we're going to raise our kids.
Well, I don't know about
We're the last.
I'm the last of my generation,
No,
which was the
I'm part of
90s
your
generation.
But
1999. Leave me
I'm
alone.
part of
So we are essentially last of the...
We're the last
We're
But-
the last generation that actually has some like grounding as far as how
We have
But-
the foundation.
But wake up
So
and
that's the
we
point.
remember Ed, Ed, and Eddie.
what
We
our
remember-
issue is, our issue is, like I said, or like you said, we remember Ed, Ed and Eddie. I want you to think about the kids shows we watched as kids, like, because they were terrible. Things were getting dropped on people. People were getting shot and stuff, and that was okay. But
To
now,
them it was.
and now you can't talk about specific things without putting a disclaimer.
But you can talk about so much other things that were big no-nos back then. I'm talking about
Like what?
All right.
Like, I get the openly gay. You can do that now. Couldn't do that then.
I don't even care about
Openly gay, you can do
knew
that.
in certain shows when people were gay, and you didn't care, you still watched the show.
No, but now it's gotten to the point where they'll announce it so they
But
don't
no,
offend
it's
anybody.
just no. Thing is, this gay stuff happened a long time ago.
And it's still affecting us.
Because people are using the Bible as the law. Why?
Because it's easier to connect to something you
were.
were.
The Bible, we have no foundation.
But look,
Okay, but it's
but broken down. Look,
think about it. They use the church as the foundation. before they
broken
even
down.
use the Bible.
Look at it like this.
Well, yeah,
If you're hardcore
They
Christian,
used the Bible first before the church was built. But what I'm saying is Bible is the only thing we have that tells us what our reason is.
but
I'm
look,
not Catholic.
the,
I'm not
okay.
the issue is.
The thing is, we have a reason here on the earth to live the life that we need to live. That's what I'm trying to
Hold
sit
on.
here and say.
Actually,
Why use the Bible?
life. Hold on. Okay, so first I'm gonna bring up the point that without the Bible, you're talking about something that we have learned since we were itty bitty. Our parents, hey, believe in God, love God, trust God, fear Him when you need to fear Him. These are things that need to happen. In our mindset, we're thinking the Bible is good, which is okay. I'm not saying anything negative about it. But like he was talking about the gift of life, and actually a cartoon put it best. It's not having the gift of life that suits you right. It is what you decide to use that life with,
And what
how
do
you
with
carry it.
and how you carry it on your shoulders specifically.
That's not at all what
That's
I'm
what
saying
I'm trying
about
to
the Bible.
figure it out.
I'm just
Why?
saying the Bible is what told us, hey, don't kill somebody.
No, someone who
We
wrote
know
the
by
Bible told that.
nature that's just wrong. I was just saying,
They use that as a common ground for all laws. Like even in countries that are communist, those laws are still there.
that's what I'm saying.
And it's not
Society's just based
even with like Jerusalem, they still go by their equivalent of the Bible as law. And it's not the same. There are things that we don't do that they do that we see as barbaric, but that's just the different culture.
Call that the barbarianism. Huh?
Well, because
We're
there's
all
things
barbarians.
they think are
Alien,
barbarian.
we're a barbarian.
Yeah.
Right? It's just,
Even our smartest and most intelligent.
It's just that we're the
intellectual.
last generation to get things situated. We have the foundation. We've seen
No.
that we.
We're the last generation that needs to do it. Because if we don't do it, there won't be any generations with that
but
common
then
ground.
we have to tell the other generations. We got to tell this generation.
That part's
other people.
that's part of being a parent is telling them that.
Let's get this point across. Let's come together as a generation right now. The '90s kids right now to tell other '90s kids right now to come together as one. Okay? Because if we don't do that now, half the generation that we're in right now, half of the kids would be.
There are two
What
problems
sucks-
with that.
What sucks is the generation before us.
The-
We're the late 90s. We're talking about the mid-90s generation are idiots. They're the reason why our millennials suck.
Because they raised our millennials.
So most of the 90s were produced by idiots. I just feel like at the last part of that generation, a lot of intellect came out. As far as
But
like,
you gotta think about the last-
they did.
But the last
you got kids.
generation, we were called the no father generation, though.
Well, that was because of the early '90s kids, the '80s kids. You know,
The
those
late
are,
'80s, the early '90s to mid '90s. Yeah.
But
they're the reason
what
why
I'm
we
saying is,
came out.
if we want a reputation for our generation, we need to stop teaching our kids to be offended and start teaching our kids to be accepting when someone doesn't have a specific view that you don't share.
Right.
You know, because if we're talking about, oh, I'm offended, that offends me, we're not going to go nowhere. We're not.
I mean, if you really also want to get into it,
I think it's
a
raining.
lot of the generations had no fathers.
It's just
But what I'm saying with that is,
because if I'm slowly changing something, like okay,
it's going to take several generations to fix what one messed up.
okay, but the whole generation.
You gotta start somewhere.
Right now, it needs to start with this. My point is, it needs to start with this. If I'm changing something, not just politically, but environmentally, then I need everybody else to hop on board.
But that takes time. That's why I'm saying it takes multiple generations to fix what one messed up.
Okay, but
You know,
like,
look, if Chernobyl were to be fixed overnight,
Hold on.
people would be living there.
Hold on, guys.
it can't just be. I understand it can't, but you gotta think about it. It can't just be one person change everything else.
It has to be a very minute group of people who have a lot of power. And I don't mean power like money, I mean power like influence.
Powered by intelligence.
By the Antichrist.
No.
It has to be powered by intelligence.
I mean, if you really want to think about it, if you take it to what the Antichrist is prophesied to do, he'll take society and matter step forward. Yes, we will fall. We will fall.
barely.
But
I know
we
about
will
barely.
also stumble and get the back up and take what we learned from it and keep going. That's what I'm saying. At this point, we're
He's
just waiting for that
But you-
next.
what it
pivotal
seems like you're
moment
talking
that
about here-
pulls us through.
What you're talking about is surviving the fifth extinction, which is good.
Not even.
Yeah, I'm
just
just talking
talking about at
stages.
this current state that
Well,
we're in. We're just in
The reason
this
why
staggering
we've had
loop.
the four major extinction events, and he's talking about like if we survive the next one, we'll
if we-
ascend in humanity. We'll
Yes,
have an
that's-
intelligence boost.
But that's if we exhale to the next stage to
Hold on.
fulfill that
Hold
proportion.
on, but even more so, all I'm really trying to say is right now is the way the state is currently in is we're just in this staggering loop that we've been in for the past 20 fucking years. But we're not going nowhere. We're just keep rocking.
That's why
back
we
and
need
forth,
to-
like we're just sitting in a mental asylum waiting for something to pop.
That's
we're
why.
silent.
But look,
Because
that's
we're to ourselves. We're
that's why
silent.
we
No,
need
we
to.
need something. We need something that's.
I
gonna
know what
pull
we need.
Everybody back together again.
We
and
need-
get them focused on
We need
all
to
this
do what I
bullshit.
just said. We need to teach our kids to stop worrying about being offended and start worrying about building a
The only
group,
reason why
having
we're
a
worried about them
family.
being offended is because we're not in a state of some sort of emergency. where
Okay, but
everybody-
why would our generation even have kids?
Because
Why we-
Because
no.
progression.
No, but that's my issue. Why are we worried about kids now when we should be worried about kids, 5-10 years from now?
right
When we're actually 25, not 18, 17, 25.
Because if we worry about it now, like I'm not saying we should plan it. I'm saying we should give it some thought. You know, put some effort into where we're going, so that when we actually get there, we won't look lost. Okay.
But you gotta think about it. We have to take it progressively and slowly. That's why it's called the progressive movement for a reason. We're still in the progressive movement.
We're in a new one, I'd say.
We
But-
are in the third.
We're in a movement at this point. We're just in this staggering loop.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
look,
going
we really
nowhere.
are. We really are. Look, we're technologically advancing, but psychologically as a group,
And you know,
in
emotionally
America
and mentally
specifically,
as humans.
but as a group, psychologically, humans aren't going anywhere, and we're not going anywhere because everyone wants to fight with everyone.
Yeah, we're just staggering.
And that's the point of a black on black crime, a white on white crime, a Native American tribe against a Native American tribe, an African tribe against an
That's
African
why I'm
tribe.
saying
Yeah.
we
It
need to
shouldn't
stop
be-
worried about being
But it's so
offended.
diverse to the point we do not know what the fuck is going on in this world.
That's why I'm saying, you know, if we had like a major crisis event where we're
That's
all
if we-
together,
no, that's
we
the
ain't
point.
gotta worry
But
about
you
it.
gotta look.
I
at
get
it.
what you're saying. You're saying that what I'm gonna call the explosion. The explosion will get everybody's attention and
What
go,
explosion?
we need to stop
What,
fighting.
any explosion.
Any explosion.
Any.
The economic explosion, a political
Society-
explosion, a
that's-
society explosion,
Well, that's why we
a nuclear
We
explosion.
can't have.
We're waiting for the bomb.
We can't have a nuclear explosion, but you got to think about it. In 2008,
He's
that's
saying-
when we had we had the financial crisis, and that's why most of our government jobs
can I show you
did
something?
not happen because the financial crisis.
Can I explain to you
so
something?
we all came together as the United States of America to help each other out for that financial crisis.
But look, 08 to like
You're talking about
010.
the Big Short?
Hold on.
Yeah, that one.
Hold on.
Okay, so you're talking about when the housing market crashed.
Hold
Yes,
on.
The only reason why it bounced back from because we
you're ignoring me.
All right,
Look.
then. But you're right.
I want to explain something.
Exactly.
08 to like 010, it was good. It was like 3 years. But listen, there was another time.
11.
There was another time where that happened, and they gave it a pretty off name. They called it the Roaring '20s. But what happened after
Great
that?
Depression.
The Great Depression. So what's about to happen? What are y'all's not seeing?
That's when we came. That was the first time we came together.
But what's about to happen? That 08 already happened. So what's going to happen?
That was just the first time in like the 20th century that we came together.
But
okay,
y'all get what I'm saying, right? Y'all are understanding what I'm saying, right?
We get what you're saying. It's just, when's the next crisis you're talking about?
That crisis would be the Great Depression, economically.
I don't know when. That's what I'm saying.
Because
we can't tell when.
I've been expecting it for the past 20 years because the evidence is there that it's supposed to be happening.
But then you got to think about it. They're
aliens.
No, it's not just
that. It's gonna be aliens. It's gonna be aliens.
It's gonna be aliens.
I'm not saying it's going to be aliens. It's just you're not understanding me. It's the reason why we're doing the podcast is because history itself, it's repeating itself. You just admitted saying 08 was the Great Depression.
That's the 20s. That's the Roaring '20s.
That was the Roaring 20s.
We haven't had the Depression yet.
08 was the housing market crash.
That was half of what the Depression was. The housing market crashed.
Well, you know why the housing market crashed?
Yeah, because the inflation rate.
Look two generations ago, and you'll see why the housing.
Because of the inflation rate.
The
inflation rate.
Good old baby Bush, right?
It was the baby boomers. That's what it was.
The baby boomers. He's blaming the boomers.
I'm blaming the baby boomers.
But the reason why the housing market crashed was because we kept selling bonds on top of bonds, and we were using
the inflation rate. That's why, because we're trying to
rated bonds like C bonds and saying that they were triple C bonds when we get a lot of them together, and then we get a bunch of triple C bonds, and then we sell those saying they were B bonds, and they get a bunch of that. We were bullshitting. We was just making money.
That's because they were worried about the deflation rate, which caused the inflation rate to go up to exhale, and then now that's why we had an economic uprise into what we had, and that's why we had the 2008 housing market crash right then and there. That's the point.
Well, we have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Well, we can make another one.
Not right now, because the phone doesn't look like it's going to support that.
It looks like it can.
Whatever.
I'll give you my SD card to use.
No, I'm not talking about memory-wise. I'm talking about battery life.
We can do it.
Look.
Till it dies.
But some other news is there is a potential restructuring of our podcast that could be happening. And I say that because
it's called the involvement.
I'm moving because Doug wants to be dead.
Well, I'm moving for other reasons than that. But yes, I could be moving. We could still do it. We could still phone it in, but it's just going to be a little bit
difficult.
Yeah, there's going to be some more technical issues. That is perfectly okay. But I wanted to say that before the end of the podcast.
The reason why we need a producer and credits and stuff.
Yeah. We should start video recording it, to be honest.
Okay, we could do that, but
and not just video recording. It's just that we have to slowly. This is the first stage of anything else. So, like he was saying, this is the first stage. Let's just do the podcast. After the podcast, we need to have our actual thing. We have to have our setup.
All I want to say is this: I refuse to allow this podcast to be the last one of Societal Communication with only 3 episodes, and I refuse to. So I'm gonna call it in if I have to.
Wait, the whole name of the season is
Societal Communication is the whole thing.
So why are we talking
for the whole season? Is it a full season?
Societal, not suicide. Yeah, full season.
Society.
All right. What's
7 seconds.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. This is Joe Taylor.
Doug.